The Prime Minister has arrived in London for talks with another of Australia's closest allies and to rub shoulders with the world's progressive leaders. Live to political correspondent Cam Redden, he's in Canberra for us. What's next on the agenda over the next few days?
Well, he's had the main event, Laura, at the United Nations. There was the big address to the General Assembly. He got the photo with Donald Trump. But this leg of the journey is no less significant, particularly given the growing closeness in political positions between Australia and the UK on things like the recognition of Palestine, on action on climate change. Those two areas in particular where there is now a direct divide between Australia, the UK's position and the position of the United States under Donald Trump. There'll be discussions around AUKUS naturally as well, looking ahead to Anthony Albanese's visit to the White House on the 20th of October. He will also meet with the King Charles, over the course of the next few days. One of the big events, though, will be tomorrow, where there'll be this global summit of left-leaning, centre-left political leaders, some still in office, some formally. You can see there the list of speakers, including the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, Mark Carney of Canada, the leader of Spain, as well as the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, and the likes of Pete Buttigieg, a high-ranking member of Joe Biden's administration, someone who's been touted as a potential future presidential candidate for the Democrats. But in terms of the overall political position, the acting Prime Minister, Richard Marles, has told Sky News this morning that even if Australia and the US may have different policy positions now, he believes that administrations come and go in both countries and that ultimately, even if there are differences well played out on things like climate change or Palestine, that the fundamental values that Australia and the United States share are no different under Donald Trump or anybody else.
Do you think this is a temporary blip for the United States on these issues, or has its values fundamentally changed?
America is going to have the views that it has based on the administrations that it elects. I mean, that's to state the obvious. But on the core basis upon which we are in an alliance with the United States, actually, I feel that that is in the same place that it has always been. It is as solid as it has ever been.
Cam, the government is also pushing for a place on the UN Security Council. As part of that pitch, the foreign minister has warned about the urgent need to prevent AI from being used in nuclear weaponry.
Yeah, you talk to experts in this field, Laura, and the estimates of what impact AI will have on our lives range from everything from a few productivity gains, but nothing too dramatic, to things like 20% of the workforce going. Potential nuclear disaster if AI is given the responsibility of administering or deploying things like nuclear weapons or unarmed or unmanned technology like drones or missiles or other things. Penny Wong, the Foreign Minister, is mounting that case this morning at the United Nations for a greater involvement, a global effort to develop universal framework for the use of AI, but in particular to prevent nuclear weaponry from being handed over to artificial intelligence, where a computer or an algorithm essentially would be making decisions about when or if or how those weapons were deployed. This is part of her mounting that case, and there is a direct connection here to Penny Wong arguing for Australia to have a spot on the Security Council, given some of the work that's already been undertaken in digital protections here and across the Pacific.
AI's potential use in nuclear weapons and unmanned systems challenges the future of humanity. Nuclear warfare has so far been constrained by human judgement, by leaders who bear responsibility and by human conscience. AI has no such concern, nor can it be held accountable. President, decisions of life and death must never be delegated to machines, and together we must set the rules and establish the norms.
So Penny Wong firmly putting that on the agenda. Laura, it's a challenge that's been grappled with all countries at the moment, given that this technology is advancing so quickly and, of course, it's advancing in private hands.
Yeah, Cam, thanks so much for that. This is something that we discuss on this program extensively as well. So it's certainly a concern for the world, and business are concerned about over-regulation. So how we get to that is the next big question. Cam, thanks so much.